Hello everyone, this is a map. Okay, goodbye, I'm kidding. But what are we going to be doing with this map? Well, as you can see, there's a big red blob in Central Asia. And as you can see, that is all the Stan countries. Obviously excluding Kurdistan and East Turkestan. Because, well, those aren't countries, those are territory. They're like parts of a country, I'd say. Anyways, this is like, what if the Stans united? uh, yeah, anyways, what are these guys gonna be doing first? You see over here, well, bing, bang, bop, boom, bang, uh, bang. Yeah, they're invading the Caucasus. It's always the post-Soviet nations that really want to invade the Caucasus for some reason. First is Russia, now Stanistan's. Anyways, yeah. A landing is made up here. Why are you yellow? A landing is made up here in Azerbaijan. I'm just gonna turn up the tolerance a bit. 38, is that good? Yeah. A landing is made up here in Azerbaijan as well as one over here. Eventually, they take the whole coast, so they can't get any hope, no, help from anyone else. Although no one else would really want to help, and just to show that more, yeah, yeah, the Russians are joining in on this war. Troops that are already in, I believe, South Ossetia and Abkhazia, they begin pushing out, eventually taking the Black Sea coast, and more of Azerbaijan begins getting taken by the Stanistanians. Eventually, the southern half of Armenia falls, and a majority of Azerbaijan, including their exclave, falls over. The Russians begin moving in, eventually taking a majority of their border. Not all of it, but a majority. They take more of Azerbaijan, and eventually the rest falls over to Stanistan. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, it's probably not gonna go very well for these guys. Oh yeah, that went horrible. Russia is going to be annexing a surprisingly small amount. They are only annexing the more northern areas of Georgia, and maybe a tiny bit of Azerbaijan, most likely. Anyways, the rest is going over to the Stanistans. As you can see, now they have access to the Black Sea. And what are they going to be doing with that? Oh, why? Well, these guys are Cyprus, and as you guys know, yeah. But let's just imagine that's not gonna happen in this video because I said so. Uh, these guys are gone, and these guys are red. Anyways, next area. Bing bang, no bang. Why? I don't know. Anyways, a landing is made over here. I need to turn off I need to turn off allies. No. Anti-analyze. Okay. Either way, it's good now. The coast, that is very quickly taken, because I believe Syria is in, like, an active civil war. So just, like, pockets begin, like, rebelling away, wanting to join in with Stanistan. A pocket over here, like, yeah. A pocket near the Turkish border. So there are 5 pockets in total. And that just leads bang. Anyways, um, Iraq is probably dead. they begin getting pushed into, but when they lose like half their country, they just like they're out. Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna do this peace treaty live because I feel like it's simple enough. I do a line, a wondrous, wondrous line. Then I get the color. Then I do a control. No, I do shift click. And then I literally just. That simple. It is that simple. And you might be wondering, what about these guys? Let me tell you. Bang. Yep, puppet state has been made. Anyways, as you can see, the Stanic Empire is in three pieces. The mainland, their Caucasus area, and it's like Middle East, like almost like a colony. So we're gonna see something that isn't necessarily like funded by them, but it's probably funded by them. Turkey, hello there. Iraq, hello there. You might be wondering, why am I coloring these two in? Well, oh god, Kurdistan's breaking away. And listen to the name, Kurdistan. Yes, the Kurds want to become Stan. So they just begin like rebelling out, and then like Turkey's like, you know what, screw this, we don't really care. Sure, you can have your independence. So that gets Turkey out the war like very quickly. Good job. And now that they don't need forces over here, they can begin sending them out here, as you can see with this. And not just that. Yeah, I guess it was funded by the Stanistanians. Jeez. Anyways, Iraq knows to surrender for yeah, they just decide to like they leave before it gets too ugly. So what are they going to be doing, you might be wondering? Well, let me show you something absolutely something. I was gonna say wonderful, but depending on the person, it might not be wonderful. Oh. Yeah, the Kurds and the Stanistanians somehow got a lot more than they originally had. So this goes over to the Stanistanians because Kurdistan decided to unite with the Stanistanians. Yeah. As you can see, these guys are becoming a very large country very quickly. And what normally happens to a large country when they become large and are not only large, but listen closely, a country. Do you know what happens when they are a large country? Oh, okay. Yeah, like a defensive alliance has been made against the Stanistanians. And it's just like to prevent them stopping. But there's a few countries that you might have noticed that they aren't actually in the alliance, but you would have thought they would be. First of all is Lebanon. You might be wondering, why are they? Oh, okay, yeah, that perfectly explains it. Yeah. Anyways, another country isn't going to be joining the anti-Stanistanian alliance. Well, they're going to be making an alliance with these guys up here, the Stanistanian. They aren't going to be in. They're not going to be blue. They're going to be a wonderful, wonderful red color. And yes, it's Turkey. Before you ask, Turkey is making an alliance with them, but not just Turkey. Palestine, Saudi Arabia. I don't know why my mind just blanked for a sec. Saudi Arabia, Serbia, and that just ends up like completely just spiraling the Balkans. Bing, no, bing, back, boom, boom. Yeah, that is completely has makes the Balkans have a seizure. Like, jeez. Good job, Serbia. You have royally messed up. Anyways, we're gonna see the Stanistanians go into another area. And where is that area? Well, my friend. Cool. Yeah, they're gonna be invading like just everywhere down here. Why are they doing that? I don't know. And fun fact about the Arabian nations. Like, and by Arabian I mean like these countries. There's only one strong country here. I think that would be considered strong, and that's Saudi Arabia. So you are all absolutely screwed. Yeah, they all just died. But we're not gonna see them annex everything. Instead, they annex Qatar. Actually, let me just make everything white again. They annex Qatar. These two. And they annex this island. But what are they going to be doing with the rest of Yemen? By the rest of Yemen, I mean the entirety of Yemen. Well, first, we're going to be making a line that looks something like this. And by it looks something like that, I mean it's going to look something like this. And the first thing that's going to be happening is bing, bap, boom. Saudi Arabia gets their spoils. And why is that? Well, they did some stuff too. And the second thing is, fun fact, you're not going to believe me, but boom. Yep, these guys have two puppets now. Good job on you. Anyways, the Stanistanians think that they could probably beat the anti-alliance for them. So let's see if they can. They decide to, not just them, but all their allies, decide to collectively declare war on this alliance. Hope you guys win. Well, actually, I don't really have an opinion on this. I'm just the guy who maps. Anyways, I just said Hungarian. Hungary begins pushing into Transylvania, but gets stopped at the Carpathians, I believe they're called. So it ends up looking something like this. Croatia's screwed. And by screwed, I mean they lose this area, and that's about it. But these guys are a bit screwed. Kosovo are nearly fully full, as well as these lot, and Bulgaria. Although it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because you see these guys over here, they're getting pushed into. I'm going to change that color very slightly. They're getting pushed into. And that's not good, because that means these guys just lost their entire coast. They're 17 kilometers of coast. Good job. You somehow messed up as like even more than you originally did. Anyways, Bosnia falls into rebellion. Yeah. But luckily Serbia's here to help you. Halfly. Anyways, over here, yeah. As well as, yeah. Yo, no! Yeah, they managed to take this, as well as some of, like, this area, and make a landing in the actual Greek area, as well as going bang. Anyways, over here, yeah, they're screwed. Iraq actually manages to hold up quite a bit of a fight. Qatar, on the other hand, does not. Once these lands get taken, they just like make a completely just defensive front line, like someone dies, replace them. Like they are not letting us budge. Over here, though, it's going to get a bit spicier. Croatia falls, but their forces don't surrender. Instead, they connect up to Montenegro, as well as taking over Bosnia, and begin helping push out forces from everywhere else. this like Turkish one, they stay down here, but that's about it. And they begin pushing into Serbia. And oh wow, look, Romania's doing something. Yeah, but they don't manage to get to like their border with Hungary or Serbia. Greece, on the other hand, is doing surprisingly well. They help Albania with this, they do this, as well as this, as well as this, and bang. They don't reach the border, though. I stand corrected. Yeah, they have the tiniest border with the Turkish. So you know what that means? Mm, yeah, but not all of that, just this. As well as like the few islands that they have in the Mediterranean. Anyways, I'm landing here. Surprisingly enough, landing up here. All those three landings are made. And the most surprising of all, a landing over here is made. I do not know how, but they did it. Good on you. I'm proud of you, maybe. I guess I don't really know. Anyways, that's like where the Greeks stop, because they are like, defense time. We don't want to die. Anyways, let's pop back over to here to see how this front line is going. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the Saracens aren't really like, they're sending them, I'd say, like, 10% of their military over here. They're just, like, trying to murder these guys. Saudi Arabia is doing something similar, but, like, maybe, like, 5%, and then, like, the rest of this. And Palestine doesn't really care, they're just trying to keep onto these territories. The puppet states are going fully on here. I didn't erase this border, god damn it. I'm a moron. So how about I just get rid of the border now? Big brain. Anyways, another thing that's going to be happening is somehow the Serbians are going to essentially be doing what the Croatians are doing, and they're just going to start occupying Croatia despite like nearly being pushed in. Like they managed, like these guys managed to take over Hungary, so now they don't have like a border, but like somehow, some way, they're keeping a hold of Croatia. So now this is Croatia, and this is Croatian Serbia. No, Serbian Croatia. Never mind, I guess it is literally now just Serbia. Anyway, speaking of that, bang, bop, boom, bing, uh, bang. And over here, bam, bang, bop, boom. Yeah, Turkey's screwed. So, how about we see what a peace treaty is going to look like in three? Oh, yeah, that's a lot to unpack. So let's start. Iran, they are wiped off the map. Sorry, Iran. Oh, I guess you get to live on this small island. Oh no, never mind. Anyways, the Iraq puppet state annexes all of Kuwait. It took them like 20 years, but they finally get Kuwait, I think. Turkey, they are very dead. And to represent that, they are going to be puppeted. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna just color it like that. Yeah. Greece annexes southern Thrace, Istanbul, which is now Constantinople. These areas, like the east, no, north, west, western areas of Turkey, as well as Cyprus. I don't think this is like I don't think that they annexed Ankara, so Turkey could possibly still have Ankara. Croatia loses Croatia, but they gain Bosnia and Serbia loses Serbia, but they gain Croatia. It's a confusing day to be in the Balkans. Anyways, Bulgaria gains a little bit in northern areas, and Romania gets Hungary. Anyways, yeah. I know this is a bit of a crappy video, but I didn't really have any ideas today, so I just threw something together. Anyways, I am going to go now. Later.